Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be joining us from this evening, this night, or this morning, wherever you are. Welcome again to our Training Transfer Effectiveness webinar series. I decided that I would always start when it is time. So we decided that we will not wait again. We will not be waiting for anybody. If you want to watch this, you go to our YouTube channel and you can watch it. So every Thursday is our webinar series. We start exactly at 7 p.m. GMT plus 1. If anybody has not joined in, we start. I'll have the webinar and people can watch it. So once again, welcome to the Training Transfer Effectiveness webinar series. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026. Welcome. So glad you are here. Those that are watching this, so glad you are here. I think I see one person, Benedicta. She's online. So, Benedicta, we are happy you are here. So glad you are here. And I don't know if it's your first time you're joining us. I don't think it's your first time, but just type into chat where you're joining in from and your role. So glad you are here. And that's introductions. Let's get to know ourselves for those that may be joining and those that have joined and those that will be watching this. Just drop where you're watching the video from. This is a bit about me, and I think we have this every Thursday, so there's no need to talk about it. So if you want to know more about me, just check me up on any of my YouTube, any of my channels, social media channels, Training Transfer Effectiveness. That's not a channel, so check me up on LinkedIn. Yes, that's where you get the full details about me. However, this is a bit about me. The training transfer effectiveness journey begins or continues. So whoever may be watching this video, wherever you're watching it from, if this is your first time, we say to you, the journey has just begun. Congratulations. And let me put our welcome in for those that are joining us for the first time. This is how we welcome you. We call it our shikere. Tada, our shikere. So that's welcome. If you're watching this video for the first time, you're joining the Training Transfer Effectiveness journey for the first time, welcome. And for those that have joined before and you're here to watch the video again, your journey continues. And today, what's our topic? We're going to be looking at, we started last week, and I promised to those that joined in last week, most of the people that joined in last week are from Kenya. I promised them that we will complete it because we could not complete it last week. I promised that we will complete it today because it's just 1 hour, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sometimes we extend to 8:30, maybe if there are questions and all that. But because of those in Kenya, we try to make it 1 hour because now in Kenya is 9 p.m. So that's 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then taking them to 10:30 every Thursday, right? So we will try to stick to 1 hour. And so this is part two of why great training still fails, the missing decisions that determine impact. Part two of that. And so if you want to watch part one, go to our YouTube channel, you see part one. And what are our objectives? I expect you to please choose your trophy because by the end of today's webinar, you're going with a trophy. So choose the trophy, the kind of trophy you want to go with. So that by the end of the webinar, you go with the trophy. So please choose the trophy you want to go with. Our objectives. By the end of this webinar, you'll be able to do the following. One, you should be able to identify the 5 missing decisions that determine impact. There are 5 decisions that so many organizations do not take. And they are hoping that they will see impact. They are hoping that they will see return on expectation. They are hoping that they will see return on investment. See, that's you cannot hope for impact, return on expectation, and return on investment. No, you have to plan it. You have to design it. There is nothing like hope there, right? You have to design it. And so there are so many HR and L&D leaders, they are hoping to see impact area and area. So I've come to tell you that hope will not come to pass. You have to intentionally design it. And so we are looking at what are those 5 decisions that determine impact ROI and ROI that most HR and L&D people miss, most organizations miss. Now, I usually say, even I started a TT daily series whereby every day I share a practical shift for HR and L&D leaders. Every day, if you take one of those shifts, your life will become better. You will become a strategic HR or L&D person. So ensure you check out those shifts. I share it on our social media channels every day. Now, if you don't see level 3, which is application, you won't be able to see level 4, which is impact. Neither will you see level 5, which is return on investment. Now, return on expectation is when the expectations of the stakeholders of the executive management are met. That's what we call return on expectation. When what they are expecting, what they spoke about, what they desired, what they said they want to see, the stakeholders and executive management. When they see that, that's when we say there's a return on expectation. We've gotten the results they want, right? So if you don't, however, you can't see that if you've not seen impact. So impact is level 3. You must see impact. Kirkpatrick will call it um, behavioral change. No, what does he call it? I'm trying to remember so I don't take it. Level 3 is because level 3 for return on investment is impact. For Kirkpatrick, I'll check it out. Don't worry. So I don't know why. How can I have forgotten? So I'm gonna check this out on my Kirkpatrick. Just give me a second. Let me open this and just check this out. How could I have forgotten level 3 for Kirkpatrick? Yes. So just this is the foundation principles. Let's check what level 3 is. Just hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Level 1, yes, this is level 1, reaction, and level 2. So let's see level 3. My head is now full with my head is full with return on investment. That's why that's why I have forgotten level 3. Okay, yes, I've seen level 3. So level 3, I just wanted to get the right name. So level 3 is behavior. Yeah, so I got it. Yeah, I got it. I've not forgotten. Level 3 is behavior. Yes. Because I'm like, how could I have forgotten that? Yeah. My head has been wrapped up around ROI since last year. Since last year, December. It's been wrapped up around ROI. So for Kirkpatrick, the new World Kirkpatrick model, level 3 is behavior. Now, for the return on investment methodology by Jack Phillips, level 3 is called impact. Now, for Kirkpatrick, level 4 is called results. Why for no for return ROI methodology, level 4 is impact, level 3 is application. Yeah, so let's not get that wrong. Level 3 is application. So what will give you impact? You must have application, which is level 3. So both of them are saying the same thing. Return on expectation by Kirkpatrick and return on investment by Jack Phillips. They are saying the same thing. So level 3 for Kirkpatrick is called behavior, while level 3 for Jack is called application and implementation. Yeah. It's called application and implementation. Then level 4 for Jack, return on investment methodology, is called results. It's called impact. Then level 5 is called ROI. So you get to level 5. But for Kirkpatrick, they stop at level 4, which is results. So it's so that's it. So for you to be able to see impact, you must get to level 3, whereby you see the behavior, you apply it and implement, because that will get you the result you want. That will get you the impact. So if you're able to get result and get impact, then Kirkpatrick the ROI methodology went further to say, then you can you can be able to evaluate and determine ROI, because ROI is just is financials. Okay, so we're going to identify those 5 missing decisions that determine impact. You can see we're seeing objectives and we have to go through this. So this is our session roadmap. How are we going to achieve that? Introduction, which is what I'm already doing, and I'll introduce TTE again. Q&A, then your next line of action. We expect you to do something different, which is what the webinar is all about. You must apply. If you don't apply, you still remain where you are. When you apply, you move from where you are. We will always share this. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destination. It's something I love sharing because it is tough sometimes. Someone like me, it's been a hectic day at work and I'm here today again. I'm showing up. I could as well say I'm not showing up, as in I'm tired. But I had to show up because I've decided this is our own way of giving back. This is our own SDG, you can say, our own way of giving back to the community, to the L&D community, is to share our knowledge, what we've learned, our research, to share this with people free. So difficult road leads to beautiful destination. So no matter what, we show up on Thursday. Rain, sunshine, we are here to ensure you always come and turn in. Introduction, we decided last year that at every webinar, we're going to talk about what training transfer effectiveness is, because we know that a lot of people may not have watched from the beginning. We've done over 35 videos, 34, 35, I'm not too sure, videos. So you can imagine what you've missed if you've not been joining. We've had people join the webinar and they are looking at us. They don't know what training transfer effectiveness is. And so they are wondering, what are they saying? So we made that decision last year that every Thursday, very briefly, in less than 5 minutes, we tell people what training transfer effectiveness is in order to ensure people are carried through. So now from the word, you can see training transfer effectiveness. We're going to get 3 things from that. Before we talk about TTE, so when I say TTE, I mean training transfer effectiveness. We're going to talk about training effectiveness, then training transfer before we talk about training transfer effectiveness. So now the first thing is training effectiveness. What exactly is training effectiveness? Is the extent or the degree to which your training objectives, which is your learning objectives, is successful. The essence of having that training has been achieved. The objective, why did we have this training? The objective has been achieved, which is what we call level 1 or level 2 data. Level 1 and level 2 data. So it's the extent or the degree to which training is successful in producing the desired result. So for instance, the learning objective, one of the learning objectives of any of your training on customer service may be, I want them to be able to use the template on greeting to new people, or people that come into the organization for the first time, and they're able to do that. And you want them, when they get back to the organization, to start using it. No, before that, you also want them at the end of the course to score like 80% or 85%, and they did. You said the training has been effective. So it's the extent or the degree to which training is successful in producing the desired result. That's training effectiveness. We can't stop there, because if you stop at level 1 and level 2 data, you will not get ROE or ROI. Don't forget what I said earlier on when I was trying to explain the Kirkpatrick 4 levels of evaluation, and I was trying to explain ROI methodology by Jack Phillips. You must get to what? Application. You must get to behavior enough for you to see impact. Okay. The next thing is training transfer. What exactly is training transfer? So it's the extent to which the trainees effectively apply their acquired knowledge and skills from that training you sent them. And in the workplace, they're able to demonstrate the desired behavior. So it is the extent to which training participants apply what they learn on the job to improve performance. So for instance, same is customer service training. They come back to the organization, they're able to use the template you taught them in the training to welcome new customers. They applied it, right? Yeah, they did it. You will say transfer has happened. It has been what they learned, they've transferred it. However, what we found out is from research and also from experience. All these things I'm saying, go and check if you're very good in researching. So one of the things we do very well as a business, as an organization, is to research. We do a lot of research. We believe in research because even though we have the practical aspect and the experience, there's also the research. It's the research that helps you to now, okay, let's apply this, but you cannot take away research. You cannot take away research. So when you check the research documents far back as 100 years ago, all these things I'm saying, they are there. It's not new. It's just that we went to dig it up and we used it to design the models and the framework we are using. It's not, I'm not doing anything new. We're not doing anything new. We are building on what people have done. Yeah. So, however, so we found that from also research that when people apply, for instance, after a training, they could apply what they've learned, the knowledge or the skills for like a week, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months. They get tired. They stop. Now, if you stop, it will not necessarily show you impact, show you ROE or ROI, depending on that training again. Now, for ROI, based on Jack and Patty Phillips, who are the ones that wrote the ROI methodology, they said ROI usually shows up. Say, give 4 to 6 months for ROI to show up. So like 4 to 6 months, 3, 4, 6 months for it to show up. So you can imagine. So you can imagine someone that was apply for 1 month and stopped. What do you think? You will not see ROI. Yeah? You will not see ROI. And you may not even see the expectation, ROE, of what the stakeholders wanted. You may not get up there. And so we cannot stop in training transfer. We must move a step further. And that's what we have. Training transfer effectiveness, which is the extent to which knowledge and skills gained from training are, take note of the control Bs, consistently applied on the job in a way that leads to measurable performance improvements and business impact. If it does not touch the business, we are joking. There must be an impact on the business. Yeah, there must be impact on the business with intentional structures in place to sustain the application over time. Because if there are no intentional structures, we can bet money on this. Application cannot be sustained. That's what happens in, let me take my pointer. So that's what happened, my laser pointer. That's what happens here. When an employee applied for 1 month and stopped, if there were intentional structures in place, that employee will not stop. The employee will keep applying, And as they keep applying, it becomes business as usual. It becomes something that is normal for the organization. It becomes business as usual, BAU. So that's where we are taking you to, and we've been taking you to since last year we started. Last 2 years, by the way, 2024, when we finally finished the operating system we are using now, called the Training Transfer Effectiveness Operating System. It's a training design that helps businesses see impact, return on expectation, and return on investment. And that's what this is all about. So that's a bit about what training transfer effectiveness is. I hope I did not take so much time explaining that. Now let's go into what we have today. The missing decisions that determine impact. So there are 5 missing decisions. One is the perception decision. How is training perceived by organizations? The next one is intervention decision. Is training truly the right intervention? The third is design decision. How we designed across all training phases. The fourth is ownership decision. Who owns transfer after training? And the last is the measurement decision. What will we measure and when? So these are the 5 missing decisions that determine training impact. If you want to see impact, you want to see results, these things you must take note of them. So now let's take them one after the other. Let's start with the first one. The first decision is perception decision. How is training perceived in your organization? I want you to take a moment to think. I have 2 persons on here. And if you want to talk, please feel free. I think I see Thomas. Thomas has joined. Welcome, Thomas.
Yeah, thank
So
you very much, man.
you're welcome. So how is training perceived in the organization? Thomas or Benedicta, if you want to share, that's fine. Just unmute your microphone and share, or you can use your emoji hand, and I'll call upon you to share. Now, to the viewers, those who are watching this, I want you to just take a moment and just think, take a deep breath and think. How is training perceived in your organization? How is it perceived in your organization? How is it perceived? And let me show you how. Okay, you want to share, Thomas? I can see that you've unmuted your
And
microphone.
sometimes they feel it's a waste of time, waste of
Mm,
resources, and
mm,
at the same time, waste of energy.
mm.
So,
Waste of time, waste of resources,
resources,
TR, and
yeah,
waste of energy. So that's TRE. So you can imagine the organization sees it as a waste of time, the organization sees it as a waste of resources, and the organization sees it as a waste of energy. If you don't mind, Thomas, let me put you back on the spot. What
all
makes
right.
them see it as a waste of time, resources, and energy?
Because they felt that there is no need for them spending money, even that they don't have. There is no training manager. The training manager
Mm,
has resigned a long time ago. So the one that
mm,
is handling it now is so busy. So before the man
mm,
can put himself together, time is gone. So all we do is to have get our training from OEM, that's original equipment manufacturer. So that's what we do. But for the internal training, which is the classroom training, takes a long time unless OEM prescribe, okay, there's going to be a classroom training so time, which takes months, which takes years
mm.
or a year after. So that's one of the challenges. One of the
Wow.
challenges. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Thomas. Thank you. So they see it as a waste of time, resources, and energy. It's so unfortunate. Why? So with that, training will never show impact. Training will never show
Well, it will never show impact.
ROI.
That's very correct.
So never and never show ROI. Some organizations see training, perceive training as a reward. They perceive it as a reward that it's our own way of saying thank you to you. Okay, there was senior management organization we trained. They are all senior management, and they were retiring in a month's time. And I was like, even it was the woman that came to meet me. She said she doesn't know why they sent her on this training. Is this not what they would have sent her years ago? Now that she's retiring in a month's time, that's when they are sending her on this training. That what is she going to use this for now? How is it going to help her? That this is just a way of saying they're trying to just reward her or just to thank her for being in the organization. That's a waste of time. And see, it wasn't just the training that we had there. It also, they had to, so part of the module of the training is that they will go abroad, just like what we have in the business schools, you do what we call exchange. And she was like, she said it. But that's what happens. Some organizations see it as a form of reward. And so when training is seen as a reward, training stops being strategic. When training is seen as a reward, it stops being strategic. So let me ask, for those of you that are watching, do your organization take perceived training as a reward? This is a way for us to reward our staff. Let's reward them for doing well. Maybe a staff that is an high flyer. You say you want to reward the staff by sending the person on training. Excuse me. Is that how you want to reward your staff? To send them on training? You see training as a reward? Not seeing training as a way to help the business to improve. It's seen as a reward. No, it's a no-no. Because with that, training is seen as an activity. It becomes a box ticking exercise, right? That's too bad. Some organizations see training as an activity, yeah? Someone else also that's been joining this webinar last year, so for a while I've not been seeing him. Emmanuel Adetwien, that's his name. I think he sent me a message on why he's not been around, and I never got to reply. Sorry, Emmanuel, if you're watching this video, I'm so sorry I never got to reply. At least I'm acknowledging you now, right? You've been very active last year. And he said, Emmanuel shared with us in one of the webinar, he said a client reached out to him and asked him to train their staff. And because he has been on our webinar listening to all this, he was trying to tell them that he needs to show them, give them value. They said, see, that they need to finish their budget. That was last year. And it was towards the budget ending of the year. So they need to finish their budget. That you should just forget all those things. He should come so that they will not touch that budget this year. So some people see it as an activity whereby, come, let's just tick the box. Why some people feel that according to their policy, every staff must attend at least a minimum of 3 training every year. And so they need to follow that policy. Each staff must attend a minimum of 3 training so that they can tick the box. Yes, I met the target, I met the objectives. Excuse me? When training is seen as an activity, it becomes what? Box ticking. Yeah. Another way some people see training as a budget to exhaust exercise. Okay, I've just mentioned that. And when it becomes a budget to exhaust exercise, it becomes a yearly routine. Nothing changes. Every year it becomes the same thing. This happens most often in the public sector. When it becomes a turn-by-turn entitlement, a turn-by-turn entitlement, it is my turn. There are some organizations, training is turn by turn. There are specific trainings that are turn by turn. When you get to a particular level, you have to go to that training. There's some persons, you have to get to a particular level to go to some business schools, to go to some, what's that word? High level training. You have to get to some particular level. So it's turn by turn. When a training is turn by turn entitlement, what do you think? No impact. You won't see impact. Not to talk of ROI. You will not even see application. You will not see behavior change because people see it as it's my turn now, so let me go. Even if I need it and I don't need it, it is my turn. Next thing, when training is seen as compliance, that we need to comply. They said that we have to do training. They said we have to ensure that we send people on training every quarter, or we have to ensure that people attend minimum of 2 trainings every year. That's compliance. What do you expect? This is very, very demoralizing. When training is seen as a panacea for all problems, yeah? When training is seen as a solution to everything, any performance gap, let's send them on training. Any performance gap, let's send them on training. So when training is seen as a solution to everything, organizations will stop diagnosing problems. They're not thinking about diagnosis. What they know, training is a solution. Training is a solution. So the first wrong decision is not even about the design. You can see the first wrong decision is perception. It's not design. Can you see we've not spoken about design here? So you see that the first wrong decisions organization take has nothing to do with design. It is the mindset. And that is what we need to change. The mindset shapes everything. And once perception is wrong, everything else becomes wrong. Once the perception of what training that's supposed to be strategic, training that's supposed to be helping businesses achieve their results, training is supposed to be helping businesses improve. It's what training is, and that's what it should be. And yet it is seen as this: a reward, an activity, a budget to exhaust, exercise, turn by turn entitlement, compliance, name them. Nothing would happen. So we need to start with the mindset. So perception, decision. Once the perception is wrong, everything else becomes wrong. Now, this takes us to the second decision. It's called the intervention decision. Thomas, do you have a question? I see
Yes, I
you
want to
on mute.
ask. I want to ask you.
Please.
I want to say this. Where do you
Yes.
classify people that see training as a means to validate their international passport? Where do you
Thomas, you
classify them?
Thomas, you keep looking for trouble. Where do you think they should be? I think I need to note that down and update my. Thank you so much, Thomas. This is where's my bio? I need to update my slide for the next time I'll be using with other people, or before I post it online, I'll update it. Thomas has given me one. I've not heard of this one before. Thomas, thank you so much. It said training is seen as an opportunity to update their international passport. Training is seen as an opportunity to update your international passport. Hey, Kai, this is crazy. So I've just noted it down. Thank you, Thomas. I'm going to update my slides. Thank you for that. Of course, where will it be? It's in a tick box or activity. I want to update my international passport. And really, some people do that, right? I've never thought about that they see training as an opportunity. Let me ensure that I have maybe Canada. The person has been trying to get Canada visa, and they are sending on the train. Tells the, and maybe his friend or her friend is the HR person. Ensure you send me on this train. I know that on the calendar there's a training for people going to Canada. I've been looking for Canadian visa for a long time, and they've refused me. So please ensure you put my name. And they put his or her name, and they give them 10 years or more. Hi, Kai. Thank you so much, Thomas. So the next thing is intervention decision. I'm watching the time to ensure that we don't overstay. When training is assumed as a solution. When training is assumed as a solution. No diagnosis. Performance gap, send them on training. Bam. There's a performance problem. There's a performance opportunity. Without validation, the organization says, let us train them. You know that song? Let us train them. Let us train them. It's not a song. I just formed that song now. Let us train them. However, you and I know, HR, L&D leader, you and I know that it is not every performance gap that is a training intervention. What does training do? Training is able to solve the issue of knowledge or skill gap. Knowledge gap or skill gap. So when it's a knowledge or skill gap, that's when you send them on training. However, we both know that sometimes this gap is not a knowledge or skill gap. Yet, because we've not diagnosed, we don't have the strength, we don't want to go through the hassle of doing that, we do what? We send them on training. And that wrong decision is what produces training scrap. What makes your organization to keep losing money? Well, some people don't care. Some people don't care. So trading is assumed as I care. For those that don't care, me, I care. And that's why we are doing this. We must stop wasting money training scrap. We must improve performance. We must do better as a business. Whether you want it or not, you will do it. That's the mission, and we've taken upon ourselves as an organization. Training is assumed as the solution. Performance problem equals to training solution. Performance problem equals to training solution. But we all know that not every performance gap is a knowledge and skill gap. Now, this takes us to the third decision. Now, the third decision is the design decision. training is designed without respect for the training phases. It's designed without respect for the training phases, which is so painful, so annoying. There are 3 phases of training: pre-phase, during phase, and post-phase. Now, if you want to design for training, when you found out that the intervention is indeed a training is a solution to is an intervention for the performance gap. Now, you sit down to start designing. And the design has to do with the trainees, the trainer, the HR and L&D people, the stakeholders, maybe the line managers, and the trainer themselves. You have those conversations, and those that will design it. Some organizations, bigger organizations, those that design the training is different. We call them instructional designers. Why in some organizations is the L&D person or even the HR person that still designs, especially if it's internal training, right? So in designing, you must take note of these 3 phases. Most organizations focus on the during phase. The during phase is during the training itself. They plan very well, good slides, great case studies, movies, dances, music, gamification. They insert every sort of things to make the training very, very wonderful. But if you focus only on the during phase, there's high chances that you will not see application, behavior. Neither would you see what? Impact, return on expectation, or return on investment. So you need to focus on the 3 phases: the pre-phase, pre-training phase, the during training phase, and the post-training phase. You cannot achieve impact if you only design for the during phase. Please, from today, start designing for the 3 phases. Yeah? Okay. Let us move to the 4th decision. Now, for the 4th decision, we call it the ownership decision. Yeah. The ownership decision. Who owns training? Who owns transfer after training? Let me allow you to think. Who do you think owns transfer after training? The ownership decision. Who owns transfer after training? Think about it. Let me pause and allow you to think about it. Who do you think? Who owns transfer after training?
The trainee.
The trainee. Okay. Thank you, Thomas. And I'm sure some of our viewers that are watching now, some will say, just like Thomas, the trainee. Some will say the HR or the L&D. Some will say the trainer. Right? Now, I'm going to bust your bubble. Training transfer is not owned by just HR or L&D alone. Training transfer is not owned by just the trainee alone. Training transfer is not owned by just the trainer or the line managers. These are the people that own training transfer, what I call the training transfer effectiveness ecosystem. They are the one that holds transfer. They are the ones that own transfer. So sorry, that should be own, not holds. So I'll correct that before we upload it. So that should be owns. So the TTE ecosystem owns transfer. Yeah. And now what is the ecosystem? For those that have also been watching our YouTube videos, you see it. We talked about the ecosystem last year, sometime last year. I can't remember when. No, for the benefit of those that have not heard of it and because of the video, there are 6 people that make up the ecosystem, the training transfer effectiveness ecosystem. 1, executive management. 2, HR/L&D. 3, trainee. 4, the line manager. 5, the trainer. 6, the organizational culture, the organization itself, the environment. Now, The executive management, you already know that. Trainees, you know that. Line managers, you know that. Trainer, you know that. What you may not know, let me give you an example of when I say the organizational culture, the organizational environment. What I mean is there are a lot of people that go for training, they come back, the tools that they will use to apply what they've learned, they don't have it. People go for training to learn how to use Excel, they come back, the organization does not give them the Excel. Is that not the organization? How do you, no matter, no magic that the line manager would do, that that person will apply it. How does the person want to apply it? How? Tell me. So everybody owns transfer, and all this will be designed at the pre. What executive management is supposed to do, what the trainer will do, which the trainer does just a little, not so much. The people that do so much, everyone has the bits, the percentage that is attached to them. The people that have the bigger percentage is the line managers and the organization environment. The line manager, because the line managers are the ones that are in the workflow with the employee. They are the ones that will help the employee to guide and work with the employee by monitoring what they are doing, coaching them to ensure they apply what they said they will apply, what they've learned. If a line manager says all that things you've learned, all those things you've learned in training, you come back. Don't attempt to say you want to do anything here. How we are is okay. We'll continue our way. The trainee cannot do anything. The trainee has entered one chance. So the line manager plays a very great role in transfer. And that's why we call the line manager the art, A-R-T, the art of training transfer effectiveness. Training transfer effectiveness has a science and an art. Is in our video again. So the line manager is the art of training transfer effectiveness. So for transfer, those that own transfer after training, these are the people. Of course, it's not in the same percentage. Just like I said, the line manager has a greater percentage, followed by the organization environment itself. Because if they don't have the tools to work, the line manager can also do anything. Nothing will happen. Then the trainees themselves, they also have their own responsibility. They should make the decision that I am going to apply. And that's why you see some people, even though the line manager is making them not to apply, is not helping them to apply what they've learned. There's some persons that in this intrinsic motivation, they have intrinsic motivation, not extrinsic motivation. They want to apply, they want to make a difference, they want to do their best to put in what they've learned. They just want to do it. So if a trainee has that intrinsic motivation and wants to do it, and the line manager is not allowing him or her, the organizational environment is not allowing him or her, what will the person, he or she is held down? He or she has entered what we call in Nigeria one chance. But you see this person is trying in every way to just apply this. So the trainee, they have their own bits to say, I am willing to do what? I am willing to apply what I've learned. Haven't you seen staff that said, these people are not serious? So I beg, let us just go for training and let me get my per diem and let us move on. Or some they want to go for training to leave the office. Say the office has been so hectic. I just want to go and rest. Some people, that's true. Let me add this. Some people go for training to rest. They go to training to rest, Some people go to training to shop. I remembered now. I won't call this organization. If a colleague of mine invited me to, this was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And of course, now, if they invite me, I will not accept. So all things are passed away. This is a new Oracle and a new Brand Consulting Limited. A colleague of mine invited me to come and facilitate a training for senior government organizations, the senior government organizations. We went to Ghana. I was put in a 5-star hotel. Hi, Kai. There's good life is good. Good life is good. Put in a 5-star hotel. Where we had the training was a 5-star hotel. Beautiful, as in beautiful, beautiful. I said, Ghana, you have wonderful hotels. Very beautiful, very lovely. As in, No, 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 no. It's like Presidential Hotel. I can't remember the name of the hotel in Ghana. On the first day, I was supposed to do, yes, just one day, then go back to Nigeria the next day or so. I came a day before, facilitate the next day, and then third day I'm going back. And after, as we were doing the training, even doing my own session, they were like, that they were not talking. They said tomorrow they're going for shopping. I'm like, and they were even telling me that I should ensure that I close on time, that they need to go and buy some things, and they will complete their shopping the next day. I say, eh, so you can see why I wrote it. Training is opportunity to go and shop. It was I think 4 days training or 5 days. No, 4 days. The first day, I think my colleague that invited me took it. I took the second day. The third and fourth day was shopping. And they paid us millions of naira to run that training. First and second day was learning. Learning that they told us end on time, 2:30, and after lunch, we want to go. After lunch, they left. Oh. A lot of them left after lunch. Can you imagine? God have mercy on us. In as organizations, Africa, guys, let us stop this. It can't happen now. I've changed. It happened then. It cannot happen now. No. Any facilitation that would not show value to the organization, I don't take it. I won't take it. No, I won't take it. My name is on the line. My work is on the line. I won't take it. So it is the trainee have their own part to also play, and their own part is to do what? To own the training. Own it and say, these things I'm going to learn, I will go back to the organization and I will apply it. Own it. Own it. The trainer, they have their own part to design transfer into ensure that excuse me, ensure that the transfer bit is in the training as you design. However, okay, I've said this, the line managers play a key role in ensuring transfer doesn't die. If they do not reinforce learning, application will die. We've spoken about this. Let's go to the fifth decision. The fifth decision. And the fifth decision is the measurement decision. What will we measure and when? See, before you, at the pre-stage, at the pre-phase of training, yeah? Before you start designing, you must agree what you will measure and when. Take it again. Listen. Hey. Should I use trumpets? How do I announce this? Even before you start training, at the pre-design, pre-phase of training, at the pre-phase, you must agree, you must determine what are we going to measure and when. You must determine the level 1 data that you're going to measure. Even what are the objectives for the level 1 data you want to collect? Level 2 data, you would design it, what you would collect, what will help you to collect the data, what will you ask, what are those questions that will help you? So you're already designing your measurements before you start. Level 3, which is behavioral application, you design what is it you're going to collect, what are you going to measure at level 3? You must say it, design it. Impact, what are the impact you want to see? You design it. You want to see 10% reduction in cost. You want to see productivity increase by 15%. You want to see expansion by 30%. We want to see attrition rate reduced to 8%. Whatever it is, that is the measure that would affect the business measure, the impact you want to see. You need to design it. Then for those that want to get up to ROI, it's not everybody that wants to get up to ROI, return on investment. For those that want to get up to ROI, you also design what ROI are you looking at. Jack and Patty Phillips will always advise that ROI should, for every training, the percentage of ROI you should, for the ROI on the training you should look for is between 5 to 10%. 5 to 10 or 15%. That's the percentage of training you should, no, that's a percentage of your ROI you should put. Some be saying they want to see an ROI of 50%. No, Jack and Patty will say that is too much. He said, how can you say that? So 10% is good. Even sometimes, ROI is about improvement. You want to improve. All the essence is for improvement. You want to improve the business measure. You want to improve what the business is doing. You want to improve. That's what it's all about. I'm going to have one of the sessions on ROI and ROE, hopefully very soon, right? So what will you measure and when? What will measure and when? If ROE is defined upfront in measurable terms, then impact becomes, if ROI is not defined upfront in measurable terms, then impact becomes unclear, yeah? Let me use an example. Oh, there's no time again. I wanted to give an example of an organization that asks us to come and do have communication training, that their executive management said they want to send their senior managers on communication training, that they are not communicating well. That's what executive management said. They're not communicating well. What is the meaning of that? So that they are not communicating well, you must define it in measurable terms. Just let's stop there because of time. You must define in measurable terms. What do you mean by they are not communicating well? That's ambiguous. That's not measurable. You must define. So if you're unable to define those expectations in measurable terms upfront, you will not see impact. You may not even see application, right? And if impact is not clearly defined and tracked, then ROI becomes difficult to calculate. Yeah? Because it is from impact that you're able to calculate ROI. Don't forget, I said, according to ROI methodology, impact is level 4. ROI is level 5. So if you want to get to ROI, which is level 5, you must be able to get to level 4, which is impact. So if you cannot get clearly defined, this is the impact of that training, and you did not track it, then ROI becomes very difficult to calculate, and it will become very easy to dispute. Your CFO will finish you. L&D leader, HR leader, your CFO will finish you when you come to make any presentation, because they're going to be asking you questions based on impact. Because at the beginning, you don't have any agreed baseline. You don't have any agreed success indicator. You don't have any credible data trail. How do you want to now define ROI? How do you want to now get up to ROI? ROI defines the expectation. Impact proves whether the expectation was achieved. Yeah? You define the expectation in measurable terms. Then these expectations, were they achieved, it is impact that will show you. ROI becomes possible only when impact can be converted to monetary value. See, ROI, as I say, is financial, is monetary value. So if you never convert it to monetary value, you can't see ROI. You must convert it to monetary value. And there are ways to do this. You have the isolation, true, you have to isolate it. According to ROI methodology, there are these 12 guiding principles that will help you to be able to do what? Convert impact to monetary value, which is ROI. So the decision is not should we measure. That's not your decision. The decision is not you should we measure. The decision is what exactly will we measure and at what time will we measure it. It's not should we measure hair, so what? If you decide to measure hair, so it's not just what should we measure, should be what exactly will we be measuring. So you're not measuring the wrong thing. You're not measuring the wrong thing. So for instance, you want to measure training impact. I mean training scrap, yeah? That's good. To ensure that we are not wasting resources. So what? So if you measure training scrap, what next? What? So what? The CFO will tell you, so what? What is the business measure? The success indicator, that's training scrap. What has that training scrap done? Maybe by the time you're able to measure training scrap, as a result of reduction in training scrap, the business had increased in revenue. CFO will want to listen because CFO doesn't understand what you're talking about training scrap. So ensure you always tie training to the business. If you don't tie training to the business, they will not listen to you. CFO will not listen to you. CEO will not listen to you. Always HR, L&D, always tie training. Always tie training to the business. It's very, very critical, very important that you tie training to the business. Okay. So impact is examples of impact and measurability. Okay, let me just quickly run us through that. Just give me a second, please. So let me quickly run us through that. Examples of impact, which are measurable terms. Reduce error rate. It may be that you want to reduce the error rate as an organization. You want to reduce customer complaints. You want to increase your sales conversion. You want faster turnaround time as a business. You want to improve your compliance rate as a business. You want to reduce the waste. Even if you want to reduce waste, and so what? Don't forget what I said, and so what? You want to improve the productivity, your output, you want to improve it. You want to reduce cost per transaction. You want to improve service delivery. So impact is about numbers moving. What are the numbers moving? So it's either you're improving or you're trying to reduce something, right? But there's something must move. Yeah. Okay. In conclusion, old ways won't open new doors. I always say this. Yeah. Old ways won't open new doors. The next time a department or a client requests for training, what would you say? We're talking about the 5 decisions. What would you say? Will you approve it immediately or will you first validate it? Don't forget, what's our first decision? Our first decision was it? Perception. Yeah? Perception decision. Yeah? What's the perception as your organization? Now you, the HR leader or L&D leader, or the trainer that is offering training to businesses, to clients. When they ask you, they demand for training, will you approve it immediately or you validate it first? Training transfer effectiveness is not accidental. It is designed. It is designed. In conclusion, training succeeds or fails based on the decisions made before, during, and after the training, not the quality of the slides. Every week, I try to give a quote based on what we have done. So this is my quote. And I would always say, do you want help? Do you need help? We are here to help you as a business. So let's talk about how we can help you build or repair your ecosystem. Let's work with you. We have been tested, we have been trusted, and we are ready to work with you. Let's help you. So we could help you you can join our mastermind course. It's starting March 10th. March 10th. Or you can join that's cohort 3 is starting in April. Cohort 4 is starting in June, and cohort 5 is starting in August. So you can plan to join any of the cohorts. Invite us to speak to your leadership team. Invite me to speak to your leadership team. Reach out, right? Reach out. Let's stop training for the sake of training. Reach out. Let's stop training for the sake of training. Let us build for transfer. Let us build for transformation. And so this is the mastermind. It's a 14 weeks journey. Why join the mastermind? It is a 14-week journey to transform your role from an HR or L&D professional to a strategic business partner. And the top 3 benefits are it helps you to demonstrate ROI and ROE through effective training. It helps you to engage stakeholders and build buy-in for your training initiatives. It positions you as a strategic leader, just a training facilitator in case you facilitate in your organization. So your key takeaway, you're going to be able to apply training with your business outcomes. You're going to apply our proven models, the PDP and the MVP. You're going to showcase training results that matter. You're going to show that your training can really produce impact, return on expectation, and return on investment. Why choose this program? Because training is more than an event. It is a strategic tool for growth. Join a community that turns training into business success. Ready to make training work and prove it? Enroll now and transform your professional impact. So you can send us an email at info@mbrandconsultinggroup.com. Visit our website, www.mbrandconsultinggroup.com. Send us a message on, you can call us or send us a message on our phone lines. And last but not the least, is our iTech conference. We had the very first conference last year. Yay! And it was wonderful. It was a huge success. Yeah, that's it. It was a huge success. And so we are planning for iTech 2.0. The theme for this year is technology, practice, and impact. We're going to be featuring practical sessions, mini workshops, networking, international certifications, Q&A with training transfer effectiveness experts. And it will be holding at where we held it last year, Lagos Oriental Hotel, November 12 and 13 this year. Please scan. There's early bird now. Go and take opportunity of the early bird. It is a hybrid conference whereby we had people join from other parts of the world last year. So this year is the same thing. It's going to be hybrid. So if you cannot come to Lagos, Nigeria, you can join us online. So go online and go to the website now. Click on iTech conference and register. Register your staff, register your employees. And please, if you have any questions, always ensure you drop your questions, send us an email, drop it on the chat in any of our social media handles, and we will get to answer your questions. A call to action. This is an application webinar. We expect you to apply whatever you're learning. So what will be your next line of action? You're saying to yourself, my next line of action is, what will be your next line of action? No more excuses. We want to see results. No more excuses. We want to see results. We want to see that you making the money for your organization, for your businesses. Success doesn't come cheap. It comes with hard work. Are you willing to pay the price for success? As an organization, we have paid the price. As an individual, I have paid the price, and we are still paying the price. The choice is yours now. What will it be? Finally, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. So finally, be happy and feel good about yourself always. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And this is About Me, the Oracle. So that's my email address. I'm called Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. That's my address, my email address, my mobile number, my social media, and reached me out or too on my email. Okay, thank you from Bennett said. Benedicta said, thank you, Sandra. You always deliver. I can't stop listening to you. Every time I become better, stronger, and more intentional to make transfer happen. Hashtag impact, hashtag RA, hashtag RI. Yay, Benedicta. Thank you so much, Benedicta. That was a great one from you. Thank you for the feedback. It's very humbling to get such feedback every time. Okay, I'll stop sharing. And before we wrap up, Thomas, whenever I hear your this, I know that you want to say something. Do you want to say something, Thomas, before we end the webinar?
Have you removed it from recording?
Okay, let me stop it from recording.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, so good night, everyone. Thank you for watching this episode of our Training Transfer Effectiveness webinar. We hope to see you again next week, Thursday. If you don't come, this webinar would always hold every Thursday. That's our own way of giving back. So we're not waiting for people to come. However, we would love to see you. But we've taken it as a point of duty to show up every Thursday and give out this knowledge. So we hope to see you. We hope you come. Even if you don't come, we will still have this. However, we hope you come. So good night and see you same time next week, Thursday. To have a wonderful weekend. We now want to talk private matters. So if you want to be hearing private matters and you want solutions, ensure you come physically. So let me stop the recording now. Let me stop the recording.